screaming from your soul. Ooh, we'll watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come on, set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the
Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Yeah, we won't be afraid.
Hello, all you weebs, and welcome to Grappling with the Week. That's right, this is the show that brings you the hottest wrestling news and highlights from the steamy kitchens of NXT to the gritty, fast paced action of AEW. We talk about it all and give you a big discussion piece to truly satisfy that hunger of wrestling content. Brought to you, of course, by Anima Weebs Studio and hosted by your Weebs of the Ring. Enough of the introductions. Let's get right into it. We're getting right into the action. How's everybody doing tonight? It is your world champion Watkins here, giving you guys the lowdown of everything going down this week, especially with the Royal Rumble ahead of us. And of course, never alone in this endeavor. I have two lovely gentlemen. First of all, you see to my left currently is Mr. Genius of the Sky himself. Drop this box. Drop. How you doing on this lovely Thursday evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited for the weekend. Should be fun. If you guys notice, streams are already set because we're trying to prepare ahead of time because it's gonna be wild.
Dude, I love Rumble season. It's like you said right there. It's wild, unpredictable.
Gives
You
you
don't know what's
anxiety,
gonna
too.
happen. Dude, my heart is racing. I've been waiting. I have been salivating for this weekend. I'm super pumped for it. And of course, down below us, as always, is the legend himself, Vash, he's cooking up all his Royal Rumble stuff right now.
Yes, he
along with
is.
his-
Oh, yes, he is. What's up, guys? Is your boy Legendary Vast the backstage stand, the production. Sean, how we doing this evening?
We're doing fine. Good. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for all your hard work, buddy. All right. Well, as as Vash is continuing his cooking and all that, and as Drop is getting us prepared for everything, we're gonna start off with some news that we had this week. So, of course, this is the Greater Wrestling Media. This is the segment that is used to highlight any indie stuff, any big news articles that happen, any of those fun shenanigans that go on in the wider wrestling world. But we've only got a few news articles to talk about this week. One of them being probably the biggest piece of news that we've gotten. Triple H has been named the headliner for the 2025 Hall of Fame. This was announced just about late yesterday afternoon, where apparently they were having like a town hall meeting. Shawn and Undertaker came out unannounced, and they were like, "Hey, Triple H, buddy, you're going in the Hall of Fame, and you're headlining this year." So, guys, Vash, I'm going to start with you really quick. How do you feel about this induction into the Hall of Fame?
His first look for anybody that hasn't, go check online if you haven't. His face reaction of looking to the back when he heard Shawn Michaels' song, it's like he heard a ghost. He's like, "What the fuck just happened? Who's about to appear?" And yeah, exactly, like Nani? Who just pop up? So it's just hilarious to see his reaction pop up and show how genuine that he wasn't aware of this, and just to see how much he cares and he's happy, and to see the fans and audience be upset about this, it makes me upset because chat. I even asked Watkins and Nick, and I said, "Hey, has Shawn Michaels been inducted as a individual?" They said yes, because I would understand if because he's been inducted as a DX generation, as the team, as a group, but as an individual hasn't happened yet. So for him to get this opportunity and get inducted, Shawn Michaels has been doing this as long as him, and people to get mad for Triple H, who's been running the company, it's better to get this off the list because he's going to be creative for the next 10, 20 years. So it's better to do this now to get it off the list. So next year we get all the older generation that hasn't got it, Randy Orton, Batista, John Cena, the other people, the list goes on. So it's better to get Triple H off the list already because his other partners, his other groups are already in it. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. So to me, this makes logical sense.
Yeah, exactly. And if anything, it's kind of long overdue. Like, Triple H is one of those acts, again, he's been there for a while. Like, I think it was 95 he debuted. So yeah, he's been in the company for, gosh, this is already his 30th year. So yeah, 30 years of Triple H in the WWE and all that. So yeah, this is kind of something that's been long overdue for him especially. And yeah, he can finally join like his buddies that are in there solo and all that, like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and all that stuff. So, as we, we'll ask Drop his thoughts as he comes back in here. But I guess, Vash, I'm gonna pivot to another question I kind of wanted to ask you guys. What is your favorite memory of Triple H? Like, do you have a favorite memory, or like a favorite match, favorite moment, like anything that
Hmm.
just sticks out into your mind with Triple H and his entire career?
So,
I guess.
so when you ask for a favorite moment, like the first thing that clicks to me in my head, it is when Triple H had the match with Shawn Michaels and sorry with Undertaker, and Triple H was I think no wait sorry I'm getting into it. Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, and Shawn Michaels was
Hmm.
the referee, I believe.
Yeah.
The reason I say that's one of my favorite moments is because the interaction, the shock value, his face being shocked that he keeps trying to pin him. I believe he did like
Hmm.
5 pedigrees in that match. So just to show that he never could take down the dead man is one of my favorite
Hmm.
parts. And Triple H rivalry with I believe Randy Orton back in '08, or I believe it was.
Hmm. Um, it was '09 because that was leading up to WrestleMania 25, and they had a rivalry beforehand when they tried to have Randy be face and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't work at the time, but I mean they tried what they could with that, but yeah, but no, his program with Randy Orton, like you mentioned during, the build for WrestleMania 25, like that's where people get the whole like home invasion angle thing from. Because, well, I mean, it's been done before then as well, but it's like that's one of the ones that kind of sticks out to a lot of people's minds because it's like, you have Randy Orton with like his fake wife, for example, in this random house. Triple H just knocks on the door. He's just standing there in like his jean jacket, just like, I'm gonna come in there, mess you up. Like, it's so funny. Um, Gosh, and I guess one of my favorite moments, or maybe, I don't know if it's a favorite match, but yeah, I think because that's the thing. Triple H was always he. Whenever I think of like the big gold belt, like the old world heavyweight title, I know it's designed from the WCW world title and all that, but whenever I think of the world champion or anything like that, I always think of Triple H because he held that big gold belt for, I mean, the reign of terror and all that. Like people say that and all that, and yeah, it was kind of bad at the time, especially when you get around to like the Goldberg SummerSlam thing and even the Booker T match at WrestleMania 19. Uh, like that was some iffy booking as well, but like I don't know, man. It was just a time in my life because that was when I was first starting to actually get into wrestling, and it's just very synonymous with me. But Chop, you're back here, so I'm gonna pivot off to you with basically
The transfer.
your thoughts on Triple H going into the Hall of Fame this year as the headliner, and just maybe your favorite moment or match of Triple H in his career.
Yeah, so first off, I want to apologize. I just had to go get my dinner.
Nah, you good?
And then second, I mean, it's well deserved. I mean, honestly, should have been done years ago. So I'm honestly surprised it took
Hmm.
this long, but it's good that everything is kicking into gear when it comes to him being the
Hmm.
headliner of this year's Hall of Fame. I mean, that's a pretty big name to put there. I have nothing
Yeah.
against it all whatsoever. And like you said, that's pretty much the belt I recognize Triple H by is the World Heavyweight title, which is why
Hmm.
it was so special for him to bring that back because he had a long legacy with that title. I mean, you picture that title, you're going to think of Triple H. Just like you look at the Win Eagle, you think of a lot of guys like Bret Hart, Austin, a lot of those guys that held that title. That belt itself was pretty much spitting image of Triple H because that's the belt he always had on him at all times. And I mean, there's a lot of memories I have with Triple H. Probably would have to be his stuff with DX. I still remember when he was Hunter Helmsley. He came up looking like
Hmm.
a pretty guy at first, and it's pretty crazy to. And keep in mind, I was a very young kid at that time, so I didn't see that stuff until later. But it's crazy to see that guy and then look at him where he is now. Like he's a 14-time champion. He's entering the Hall of Fame. He's also helping run the business to bring it to levels that it hasn't hit in so long. So it's definitely
If
well
ever.
deserved. And that's why I'm not surprised with this announcement. And that's why it was also just to throw this out here, because I did say I was going to say before the show, and it's not a rant or anything. But that's why I didn't understand why a lot of people are like, oh, he's going into business for himself. Oh, he wasn't really shocked this was going to happen. I'm like, no matter if it happened today, tomorrow, next year, the year before, etc., so on, he was going to get put in the Hall of Fame. So regardless what kind of excuse you would make up at this moment of him being in the Hall of Fame, I mean, he was going to get in there regardless. So there really isn't any issues with that at all. I don't think it has to do anything with an ego, like a lot of people say as well. It's just his time to be put in there. I mean, I'm going to say the exact same thing whenever The Rock gets put into the Hall of Fame, because he's still not in the Hall of Fame. So you're going to hear the same thing coming out of my mouth whenever The Rock gets put into the Hall of Fame. You'll see someone that should have been put in there around the time when Austin did all those years ago. So I'm kind of honestly surprised. But it's definitely well earned, and I'm happy it happened.
Oh yeah, same here. So I'm just glad it's finally happening and all that. But yeah, I mean, well deserved, all that stuff that we've already said. So yeah, we'll talk more as we get closer to the Hall of Fame, and probably share some more thoughts about Triple H and probably the whole Class 2 when we get that announced and all that. But moving right along with our news, Clash in Paris, the next PLE to happen in France was announced. This is going to be taking place on August 31st, so kind of the same time period we had Bash in Berlin this past year. This got me hyped because Backlash last year, this past year was amazing, mainly because of the crowd. The crowd made Backlash last year. Like they're just the energy they had overall that night from start to finish, from like the no DQ match with KO and Randy Orton taking on the Bloodline to freaking AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, where they literally had the cameras shaking. And guess what? That place that they had, that was only like 11,000, 12,000 people in there. The place they're going to this year in Paris can hold like I think I saw it was like up to 40,000. So imagine, just try to put that into perspective. How loud just 11,000 French people were.
I'll tell you this. I'm fucking excited. I'm gonna just be
Yeah.
straight up. I'm excited, chat. You know why? Because I have seen that. I'm probably a person that gave them 1,000 views. That clip of the AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, and you just hear them in the background this whole time. I love it. I love it. It literally is adrenaline in my soul. Just seeing them saying, if you guys want to see more of that and you never got a win of that, go watch more soccer games. Some football games. They will say that all the damn time. That is a thing they say. That's a trending thing. So I'm excited. I would love to see that, and I would love to see AJ Styles have another part in that. In Paris. I'm here for it.
Yeah, run him and Cena there. There you go.
Oh,
I will cook.
That place would explode.
Yeah.
Like there wouldn't be a pair of France anymore if
No.
that happened. Like it would just, they would just implode on each other. Oh man, but yeah, that's gonna be exciting when we get to that. And that WWE going back to France isn't the only news to come through when it comes to like places, companies or franchises or other shows going to very hyped arenas and all that, because NXT is going to be going to Madison Square Garden. I think, what is it? It looked like it was just like an NXT show, so like on a Tuesday. So this is actually really exciting because I'm always a fan of like the Madison Square Garden shows.
Same. For those that don't know, they've been traveling more since last year summer. They've been trying, I think, like once a month for their events, and for this month, I believe they've traveled already 2 or 3 times. So to me, that's a good move on them. It shows that I believe even a comedian retweeted something about their match at NXT with Bianca and Naomi versus Last Legend and
and Jakari, I believe is how pronounced the last name.
Yep.
Okay.
And a comedian retweeted saying that I thought NXT was for developmental, which is true to some sense. But that's what NXT, like their other show on Peacock, that's what that more is, to show the other smaller superstars. The NXT TV show one is more for the people that had their training wheels off, and now it's like you go in, if you fuck up on live TV, now we'll fix that and see what happens. And I love how NXT is starting to go now, on the road. And as somebody who lives in New York City, I could get to see them right here at Madison Square Garden. Hopefully, it's not too expensive, but hopefully, I will be happy to see. And it'll be a cool experience to see the. If it comes in March, then hopefully to see people like Roxanne or any other people, Trick Williams, I would love to see that, whoop that trick, chant live on air. So I would love to see that if they haven't gotten yet, move to the main roster as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, I mean, for me, with like Madison Square Garden, I love the aesthetic there because I always love like the double door screens that they do sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite events of WWE is actually 2002 Survivor Series, but it just feels so much more intimate, because like, yeah, 2002 Survivor Series where it's like, you don't have all these big screens, but like everybody's coming through, the screens and all that. And then you had the 2008 Royal Rumble, which was pretty much the same kind of setup as well. Like, I don't know, it's just a much more intimate setting, and like it works really well for something like NXT, for example. But Drop, do you have any thoughts on NXT going to Madison Square Garden? Do you expect any like big matches to come from that?
I would assume so, especially if this
Mhm.
is around the time we're building towards Stand and Deliver, which is pretty much their WrestleMania for NXT that takes place in the
Yeah.
afternoon of WrestleMania, or like Saturday. I would assume so. It all depends who's really there, because for all we know, after the Royal Rumble, some people might be getting called up, or whenever Roxanne's done with that triple threat with Bailey in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
she could also be on the main roster at that point, because she really doesn't have anything to do after that. But I mean, I would assume so, because again, you're building up the new stars there, so I'm pretty sure there'd be some pretty big matches there. Probably get like an Obafemi, Julia,
Yeah.
Stephanie, people around that ballpark. So I would assume so. But the whole thing I really like about it is that this is something you would normally expect to experience on the main roster. You don't normally get that
Mhm.
experience at NXT. That's something that you get, like, okay, I'm on the main roster, I can go to all these different kinds of places instead of being stuck in Florida or going to these other towns. When you go to like somebody like Madison Square Garden, that's like the dream. So a lot of
Yeah.
them are young, going there for the first time. That's probably going to give you a different feeling as soon as you walk into that building, because there's so many memories in that building that's happened
Mhm.
over the years.
Plus, they usually do something special when it's your first time performing there. Like,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that one video of Braun Breaker getting like the special ticket or something
Yeah.
for just being there to take part in participating in that Madison Square Garden show. So yeah, they're going to be living that dream, like you said, and all that. So yep, definitely looking forward to that. And then the last piece of news we're just going to bring up here: Dark Side of the Ring is coming back with their 6th season. I'm really excited about this. I haven't really watched much of Dark Side of the Ring. I've really been meaning to, but like this season, for example, it looks like we got a good lineup here. I think some of the ones I'm really looking forward to. Definitely want to watch that Muhammad Hassan one, because that one that one's going to be interesting. I think it's that one. I'm curious what this Hell in the Cell one's going to be about. Maybe they're going to be hitting at like Mankind versus the Undertaker and all that stuff. But I kind of want to bring it to you guys. Which one of these episodes are you guys kind of looking forward to the most?
I haven't watched too much of this product, not
Mhm.
because I haven't had the chances, because it's on Hulu. And I was watching only the first 2 seasons, and then I just never got around back to it. And then I lost access to Hulu. Then I just never got back to it. But I have always been interested, because it gives an interesting perspective of the pro wrestling thing side that we don't always see as fans. And if you want to know more for the love of the game, then this is a good source to actually look into.
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely one that comes to mind is probably with like the Hell in a Cell, Tony Atlas,
Hmm.
probably the one with Daphne too. Just to
Yeah.
throw a couple things in there. So I'll definitely be sure to check those out whenever I get the chance, of course.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to go back to like the older seasons and watch maybe some of the ones that kind of pique my interest. I'm pretty sure they did one about the plane ride from hell, which if y'all have heard any stories from that one, that one's a good one. But yeah, okay, well, you know what? That's basically our wrestling news for the week. And now, normally we would do like our turnbuckle tidbits where we talk about NXT and AEW, but with the Royal Rumble coming up, we're gonna spend the rest of our time just kind of talking about the Rumble because as good as NXT was and as shit as AEW was, we don't have time for that because it's Royal Rumble season. We're in our hot topic because it's Royal Rumble time. Now, for those of you that are new here, our hot topic is our bigger discussion piece for the episode where we dive deeper into a news piece or a PLE or pay-per-view from a show, possibly outside of the main roster or within the main roster of WWE, or just maybe a topical discussion and all that. And what's more topical right now than the Royal Rumble? So I've got a couple just talking pieces before we go into our predictions for the Rumble, so kind of get us in the right mindset of the Royal Rumble, just what it's all about. So I'm gonna start off with a few questions for you. So Vash, I'm gonna start with you. What was the best Royal Rumble that you've seen?
John Cena 08.
Oh, wait. Why is that?
I believe that's when he came back earlier, right? That's the 08 or was it 09?
Mm-hmm.
That was 08.
That was
Oh,
08.
yeah. Years. I'm still trying to get better at my years, data
Yeah.
and everything. But Royal Rumble 08. I'm a big John Cena fan, and just to see him come back early, because I was a kid at the time. But whatever we heard by the commentary saying that, hey, John Cena's not returning anytime soon. He's been out. And I was a big John Cena fan. And just to see him come out, him smile, just because everyone is screaming and just excited just to be happy to see him. And that to me
Mhm.
is one of my biggest moments because I was a kid. I believe I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old at the time, I believe.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah,
God, you were 12. Nah, that's fine.
I was
All
only
right.
11.
All right, cool. Oof. Oof. Y'all are babies. Y'all
Yeah.
are babies. I was like getting into my what was that? Well, I guess at that time I was my junior year of high school, so yeah, yeah. Oh, great. Awesome. I know where I was at with all that. Great. All right, well what about you, John? What was the best Rumble that you've ever watched?
I mean, I probably have to say John Cena coming back, the Royal Rumble 2008, because when I really
Mm-hmm.
started getting into wrestling, it was around WrestleMania 23, which was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond that point, that's when I was keeping up with a lot of things that has to do with WWE. So I've been there through the good times and all the dark times, especially during the 2019 era. So I experienced a lot
Yeah.
of stuff around then. But definitely when
Yeah.
John Cena came back, because I still remember the moment where I was sitting on the couch, and back then we normally had to order the pay-per-views because what we have now wasn't a thing yet. But we
Oh my
always
God, I remember those days.
Yeah.
but I remember when Triple H was looking dead at who was coming out at number 30, and was John Cena with his head down, which is a picture you've been seeing
Oh yeah.
recently that people are memeing of Ilya Dragunov if he comes back on Saturday.
Oh
But
my
that
God, the
moment's legendary
reactions.
though. But that moment was legendary though. We have him coming back early from
Mhm.
injury, heading into the Rumble, and then winning the thing and able to get a shot at WrestleMania. He didn't win the match that year, but it was still
Yeah.
really good just to see him come back. Like, I know WWE puts out those little best returns little playlists that they put on their channel. That one's like always near like the top of the list because it's such an iconic moment.
Mhm. Okay. Well, since you both kind of took my answer as well, I'm gonna go actually. I'm gonna go, and this is mainly because of the ending of it. I'm gonna go with the 2005 Rumble because, and part of it mainly has to do with the ending because not only did we get probably one of my favorite botches of all time, where John Cena and Batista eliminated themselves and they had to basically restart the match. Not only did we get that, but good old Vince McMahon got to tear both of his quads as he stormed the ring, all pissed off because that wasn't an act at all. Like apparently he was like legitimately mad and like ran out there with like his jacket, threw it down, got into the ring, and like tore both of his quads. I'm like, oh, that's what you get, old man. But like, just the fact that that was a botch too, of John Cena and Batista eliminating each other like that, and because like the timing with it, it's like you look at it and you think, oh, this had to have been perfect. Like this had to have been like perfect practice, precision. They had to do that right. No, it was a freaking botch when you hear about it. And he's like, there's no way that was a botch. There's no way that God was just like, oh yeah, I want this to happen in my fake wrestling tonight. Let's do that. Like,
I would say as
gosh,
well,
it was so cool.
that's a great moment because
Mhm.
it was so unexpected, and at that time with Vince, you had to go by the script. You couldn't let a lot of unexpected things happen because it's out of control because you're on live on TV or pay per view. So it's hard at the time.
Mhm.
So I understand why that's also a high favorite. Now that I think about it as well, 2000 not 2000, 2023 was one of my favorite because of our boy Cody Rhodes winning
Mhm.
the Royal Rumble. Oh, sorry, that's not 2023. 2024, last year Royal Rumble is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
last year's.
Last
Okay.
year, because you know why? More specifically the men's Royal Rumble, because it was a time where everyone, including myself, including Drop, including Watkins, where we all interact with each other, and that's how Weebs of the Ring got born. And one of the
Mm.
reasons why, like, we all kind of stood our ground, be like, nah, fuck this shit. Rocky can't do this. Like, Cody pointed at the sign, like, I got emotional. I stood at the sign. I was watching it with wifey.
Mhm.
And, like, even also, I was watching it with my wife, with my partner. Like, we were dead. I was just watching together. And it just felt how impactful and emotional it was that my partner even wanted to watch with me. And just to see that I stood up angry and I was putting my fist, I was like, nah, let's go, Cody. Get that title from Roman. This is your opportunity. Let's do this. So I could also say that 2024 was an emotional one, but also it's because one that I'm connected to from the start of a
Mhm.
project that we did, but also watching with my partner and just getting back into pro wrestling in a full time, consistent, week to week way.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think that's kind of how I feel about the 2021.
Oh,
2020. Um, because like at first, I watch it and I absolutely hated that Lesnar was number one and he was just tossing everybody out. But then like I kind of sat with it and ruminated with it. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a good bit of storytelling because of what they ended up doing with it, where it's just like, okay, here comes Ricochet. He's actually not eliminated here. Okay, great. Here comes Big Scottish Daddy Drew McIntyre, and he eliminates Lesnar and ends up going to face Lesnar. And then you had, the return of Edge that night, which they even botched his first spear back by not showing it on the live broadcast. So thanks Pete Dunne for not Pete Dunne. Oh my gosh.
wow.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Screw it.
Haven't done.
Pete Dunne, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. All you damn Butch Duns and all that. Ah, but okay. Well, let's move on to our next question. What makes the Rumble special to you? So, Vash, go ahead. What makes the Rumble special to you?
Well, what makes the Rumble special to me is the look. A lot of people could say pro wrestling is scripted. You could say that about a lot many things. But when it comes to the Rumble, it's one of the events that I hate it right now in today's era. We have 15 motherfuckers announcing themselves in the Royal Rumble. Look, I get it. We know that you guys are the biggest 15 motherfuckers that are going to announce yourself. We get it. But you know what? Just don't announce it. Just don't mention it. Like, just be surprised. Yeah, we know Simple's going to be there. We know these people are going to be there. But it's just not like we don't know the next 15 people. So the unexpected and the unrealistic aspect of like who's gonna show up this number and just having the countdown, the aspect of 3, 2, 1, ding, and then you wait for the music, you wait for the moment, and then it pops out. It gets you that excited. It just has you on. Also, if you have your friends that watches it too, it has little gatherings. You can have bets, you can have friendly bets, you can have chips, whatever it is. So it has the little fun, and it brings the community out of it. So I enjoy the fun of it, of a run. But it's one of my favorite events. Is like I would say my top three of favorite events out of pro wrestling to watch, and it's always been a fun thing to watch. It's just the 30 numbers. Honestly, if it was up to me, I would push it to 40, but I like the 30, and I enjoy it very much, like the Royal Rumble concept overall.
You would love the 2011 Royal Rumble.
Yeah. That ain't,
Oh man, mhm,
I mean, it was a cool concept, but it
yeah,
fell apart towards the end.
yeah, yeah. They could probably get away with a 40 this
Now,
like with
yeah.
the roster they have now. They probably could, but
Yeah.
at least they're not going to do a greatest Royal Rumble again with 50.
I don't want
That
to. I don't want to be here
nah.
next year. Like next year for January, I just want to be erased of what happens in that Royal Rumble. I don't know what to expect, and I don't want to know, and I don't want to see what I'm expecting. I'm just I'm good.
I mean, I'm already
But-
gonna put out my
yeah.
pick for that. I mean, I'm choosing Sami Zayn for that year, but we'll dive into that conversation.
Oh yeah.
A little bit later. But what makes
Yeah.
a Rumble special to me, honestly, I would probably have to say the experience, because it was like I was alluding to earlier, when it comes to sitting down with friends and family, and you're just waiting for somebody to come out, and then when you get to the final four, you get that have that anxiety where you're like, holy shit, my favorites in the final four, I don't want them to get knocked out, because I want to see them to go to WrestleMania, have a match, win the big one, or put at least a good showcase within that match itself. That's the whole thing I love about the Rumble. It's just the whole entire experience, seeing all these different people come back from injury, people debuting in the company for the first time, like we got with AJ Styles all those years ago back in 2016. That was a pretty big moment. Seeing the confusion on Roman's face, and then you see AJ Styles walk out. That was a really good moment. Even what you had last year. Now we're in the whole partnership with TNA. We had Jordan Grace appear in the Women's Rumble, just setting the stage for what was to become this big partnership that was confirmed last week that we went over. Just seeing the whole experience. That's what I love about it the most, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of the same way. It's just like, there's the experience of just like seeing who's going to come out next, and the unpredictability, because like, yeah, who might be in it, especially, after they announce, yeah, I'm going to be in it. Well, I'm going to be in it. It's like, all right, great. But when are you going to get in it? Because like that leads into like one of my favorite parts about the Rumble is just the moments we get between certain superstars. Is like there's some that have never faced each other. There are some that haven't faced each other in years. Like one of the most anticipating just stare-offs this weekend is Punk and Cena, because even when Cena was at the Netflix premiere, him and Punk never interacted, I don't think,
Who?
from what I remember. Cena and Punk, they never interacted
No.
at the Netflix premiere. Yeah,
No, they
and they
just
have yet to interact.
No, that's
But, like-
that's the thing that's gonna be special when it happens, because you look at
Yeah.
all the history. That's another thing too. It's just the history between all these different guys setting up
Mhm.
feuds to come. Like imagine you got somebody like Julia coming in the Rumble, setting up a program of EO in the future. Oba Femi looking at Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, going back to the '08 Rumble, you had, I mean, again, think what you will about, certain acts and all that, but I mean,
Yeah.
even still, like, you had the moment of Snuka and Piper
yeah.
coming out and staring off at each other. Like,
yeah.
you even, like, the whole match just stopped. Like, and you even see Punk and Morrison in the corner, like, geeking out that the fact that Piper and
Yeah.
Snooker are in the same ring as them, and like it's just a moment like that like I'm getting goosebumps right now just remembering that.
Yeah.
Like it's the fact that like you get these moments here, and like yeah, you get your setups for Mania and all that. Like again, this year, there's a lot of speculation to who's going to be facing who, how's the build for Mania going to be, but it's like that's what really the Rumble is for me. It's just like getting those moments, getting those even setups, or just taking us down memory lane again. I mean, going back to the 2020 Rumble, Edge and Orton had a little bit of a moment too.
Yeah.
And I believe too, they also started the 21 Rumble, I think.
I don't
From like
remember.
1 and 2. Yeah, I know Edge was like really early on
Yeah.
in the
So
21 Rumble.
it shows that the unexpected helps build up
Yeah.
the tension and build up the suspense of what it is. That's why, like, when I know a good 12 to 15 people already declare themselves, is the way I am with trailers or teasers or previews. When it comes to, like, I don't need to see when I know I'm already be there. So I get it when it
Yeah.
comes to WE. They have their reasons. It could be marketing. It could be the way to post a clip, short form content to show these people. I get it. So for me, I just see it, watch it, consume it, and I put it back on my head. Because a consumer, I know I'm already be there, front row seat, watching
Yeah.
WE either live in person if I can, at home with my family or friends, or with me and Watkins watching our sidecast at 6 p.m. live at 5:30, roughly. Maybe talk about
Yeah.
more of these conversations. So chat twitch.tv/AnimalWeek3 Studio. Go check that out. Quick plug of our own show, so it's allowed. And it just throws off the excitement. So when it comes to me and Watkins, when we're counting phone numbers 30 to 1, we're gonna be saying random names, and just by then we already heard of the last 15, and then we're just waiting for the next 15 that we don't know. So it takes the fun of it. So hopefully by this Friday, aka tomorrow's SmackDown, they don't announce nobody else. Just stop. Just don't.
Yeah.
Hate to be the
And
bearer
I'm
of
not listening to any dirt sheets at all, being like, "Oh, this person was spotted in Indianapolis."
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's why I
don't
like
care.
that's why I like how WWE recently in years have put out a lot of shit to catch those dirt sheets off guard, because you have all these different kinds of reports coming out, and they do it for a reason, because what actually happened is going to give you a bigger shock.
Exactly.
That's why when it comes to like things I envision seeing, regardless what I see posted with these different dirt sheets, I just stick with what I want to see, because if it happens, I mean, hey, I'll be happy. And if something else happens that I didn't even think of in the top of my head, I mean, holy shit, you're going to get a big pop out of me. And I'm also starting to think it probably has to do with marketing when it comes to those entrants.
It usually does.
Yeah.
Like, they do want to sell seats. They want to make sure people know, okay, this person's definitely going to be in there.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I think I said this the other night too. It's just like, that's why I prefer if, like, I don't mind if we know about like 10 to 12 people in there, because that's at least not half the field and all that, but also it leaves half the field open. I mean, I'm just gonna throw this out there. New Day didn't really declare, did they? Did
No.
Kofi or
No.
Xavier say they were?
No.
So there's 2 spots right there, and if things actually do pan out, which we'll get into this discussion later on with like dark horses or surprises or anything.
Yeah.
But a certain other person who might actually be cleared, who was said they weren't by their Majin Creed and all that, like, who knows? Who knows, man?
I know you're alluding to it. I'm all for that.
I am too. I might cry on stream. I might. We'll see when that happens, though. But all right, we're gonna move on to our next question here. This one's gonna be fun, and this one involves a little bit of interaction from AI for us. So, my question for you guys is: if you were in the Rumble, what would be your strategy? Now, before either of you answer, I'm gonna pick your number. So, Vash, you're gonna start us off. Your number. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 30.
Between 1 and 30 is 29.
So you got lucky, Vash. You pulled number 29 in the Rumble. So what would be your strategy in order to win?
All right. I didn't expect this. All right. So for myself, if I come out number 29, I don't have to get in the ring once I come out. I could wait for number 30 to come out. That's honestly me. That's honestly me. I'm a Seth Rollins. I forgot. I'm an Edge.
So this dude's gonna be like rolling out of the ring like every single time.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a opportunist. That character has always been me in the, build your own character in WE has always been like that. So if I came out number 29, perfect number. Thank you, sir. I have horrible luck with many things, but this time I'm happy. 29, it looked like I fell, but it was on the top rope. It was the middle rope or come on the bottom. And then I just looked like I was waiting in the crowd, sign a few signs as well while I'm waiting with them, give a little showmanship, do a little selfies with them. Now, while number 30 comes out, I see the last 4 remaining. I forgot. I think Logan Paul or somebody did this last year Royal Rumble, or I think 2 years
I
ago,
think
that they
so.
waited
Yeah.
on the last 4 and then they snuck in. That was me. I would have snuck in, and when they think they're the last 2, I will throw the last person out of the ring. Boom, your boy Vash is the Royal Rumble winner.
All right. Well, that's how Vash would win the Royal Rumble from number 29. All right, Drop. Let's see what number
Yeah.
you pull from. Now, there's the reason I didn't tell y'all a number beforehand is because, hey, most of these guys and gals don't know what their number is in kayfabe until the Royal Rumble. So, Drop, let's see what number you picked. Hey, Siri, pick a number between 1 and 30.
I feel bad for everyone that has an iPhone that's being hearing that right now, and all their
Good.
electronics are just being, yes, how can we help you?
So Drop, you entered at number 18. So how
Okay.
would you win the Royal Rumble from number 18?
So I'm just gonna enter the match. I don't want to sit outside, watch all of the action happen, because I'm the kind of person that likes getting involved. Because when it comes to a lot of those hack and slash games, I always head off towards all of those people coming at me, and I want to beat every single one that's charging at me. So I would be the one to go in, and what I would probably pay attention to the most, I would probably try to take out the people that are the biggest threat. So when it comes to somebody like Omos, if people are trying to take out Omos, I'll help them take out Omos. If it's somebody like Braun Strowman, I'll try to help them out. Just basically people I knew that could be a potential Final Four, like a Cena or a CM Punk, people along those lines. I would try to get them out the most, not only because I want to get a reaction from the crowd, and they would probably boo me for it, but it would also be an easier way for me to get further in the Royal Rumble match. Let's say hypothetically, like it comes down to me and somebody else that's not as popular as a CM Punk or John Cena that could really factor in towards the end. Then I would take that opportunity to throw them out of the match, win it, or just look at any possibility that I can to just wear somebody down. Like I would just do one of those things that you saw Braun Breaker do recently, where he was trying to work on the ribs with Sheamus. When it comes to their finishing moves, when it comes to those moves that they could really stun you and wear you out for a bit to throw you out, I would try to work on whatever they use to execute that move, so the move doesn't get done at all, and I can actually again get that reaction out of the crowd, a whole bunch of boos. People wanted Punk to win this year. Nope, tossing him out.
Yeah. You're over the top rope.
Yeet
Seth
it.
Rollins,
Yep.
you're over the top rope. Like,
Braun
oh man,
Strowman, you
I
over the
like
top
that.
rope.
Oh my gosh, how will they ever get him over the top rope? He's so big. Oh, it's like,
I
okay,
forgot.
cool. They always win.
I believe John Cena threw Mark Henry over the top rope in the Royal Rumble once, right?
I think
If
so.
I remember correctly.
Probably.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
he's
so.
seen
That
it
was
done a lot.
amazing. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Cena's he's quick side tangent. Just I remember
Yeah.
one when it has been an Undertaker, Kane, and I believe Mark Henry, they spoke very
Mhm.
highly about John Cena and his strength, and how he's one of the
Oh
only
yeah.
people that they will trust when they get picking up. Oh, I believe it was a Big Show was in that conversation as well, and Kane was speaking how highly they speak about John Cena's strength, but sometimes. I believe Kane said that I just get annoyed because sometimes he carries us and he just walks around like, bro, I get it that you're trying to do a showmanship, but just throw us down already. And I just felt Kane's frustration with that. Just being on top and like, come on, I'm just dangling here. Just throw me down there. So it
Yeah.
just shows how strong he is to even
Hmm.
carry somebody 5 steps or even on a 10 feet type of radius. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think my favorite big man elimination comes from the 2004 Rumble, how that one ended. When He Who Must Not Be Named won it and he last eliminated Big Show. Like, it was just really cool that, like, because he had him in like a suplex position, kind of over the top rope, and he was already like on the apron, but like he kind of like bent him down and like was able to like maneuver him enough to get him over and like get back in the ring. Like, it was really cool. But again, He Who Must Not Be Named won that one. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if Siri's nice and kind to me, because like You guys got some pretty good numbers.
I would laugh if yours is like a 5.
Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 30.
I'm waiting to hear 5 already.
Okay, all right. I got 16.
12. Oh,
So,
okay.
all right. 16 is not too bad. All right. So, very kind of similar to drops, where I would get in there, I would try to see like, okay, I would pan the arena, and be like, okay, who's in here? Who do I have to deal with? But obviously, as I'm doing that, I'm still doing my entrance. I'm not rushing to the ring. I'm not gonna expend all that energy. People that are gonna run down that long ass hallway, nah. Nah, why are you gonna waste your energy like that? Nah, give me like one of the buggies they had that one year. Then I'll go into the ring. But no, even then, I don't need a buggy. I'm just onto the ring. It's gonna be like one of those Roman Reigns entrances that takes forever for him to get to the ring.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna survey the scene, see who's in there, see who's not. I'll go in there, hit some big moves and all that, but like I'll also kind of chill in the corner a bit. I'll like back into the corner and be like, okay, and like get a little low, so that way like I'm not up high and anybody can come and try to eliminate me. I'm just like, all right, you're taken down, you're good. Okay. Who's like, and try to be like that that opportunistic way. So like kind of like you, Vash, as well, but except I'm not gonna roll out of the ring. Mama didn't raise no bitch. But
No.
like I'm gonna survey everything. I'm gonna make sure all right, who's the closest to being eliminated, and as soon as I see somebody just inch close to
do that
that
extra push.
top rope, well, bam, over the
Yeah.
top rope. Oh, Jey Uso, you want to yeet? All right, great, yeet over that freaking top rope. Oh, hi, Jacob Fatu, you want to try to eat me? Nah, werewolf, you're going over that top rope. Roman Reigns, you think you're some sort of head of the table? Great, get that head over that top rope, motherfucker. Nah, that's pretty similar strategy to you guys, because again, like that middle section is really good for that kind of strategy, just kind of just surveying everything, kind of taking your opportunities as you take them and all that. But nah, I ain't rolling out of the ring for that. Nah. If
Hey.
anything, I will be holding on to that bottom rope if I'm ever down. I will
Yep.
be hugging that thing like, nope, ain't leaving.
If we're speaking realistically, not current athletic body that guy, I would love to be like Kofi Kingston, where I could do a handstand and hold my, balance myself and to the end of the, barricade. If I had that current body strength and core, then yeah. Current one, once I go over the top rope, I got good core strength. That shit's lasting 10 seconds tops. Once I cannot bring myself back up, I'm falling. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But and what? Speaking of Kofi, I hope his spot this year is better than what was it, last year or the year before, when he tried to land on the office chair and it got botched to living hell and everybody thought he hurt himself.
Yeah, I remember that one. But
Yeah.
Chad, please
Yeah.
let us know down in the comment section below. How would you win the Royal Rumble? Do what Watkins did. Tell your phone, hey Alexa, hey Siri, hey Google, any of your 3 phones. Damn, my phone activated and my Google activated. No, shut. Nope. Cancel, guys. Cancel. So do any of
Alexa.
those things. Do any of those things and tell them to give you numbers 1 through 30, and then see where would you land and what is your strategy. Tell us in the comment section below, because we'd love to know, or DM it to us, because hey, I'm an opportunist. I will sneak my way if I'm a win. If I'm a main event WrestleMania, I'm gonna make my way happen. And if I'm number 29, if I have to take out Drop and Watkins while I'm number 29, and if they're still right there, the last remaining 4, I'm sorry guys, I gotta yeet ya. Boom boom.
Yep. And then the glass shatters, and then Vash is tossed over the rope.
And then
You're gonna get a
all of
mud
a sudden
hole
the
stomp.
counter starts. The counter starts again, and number 31 comes out, and it's Goldberg.
Uh-oh.
Bro. Nah.
Then number 32, you got Undertaker coming out.
Oh
we do
no!
have one.
This is the. Oh,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
mention that we do have one chat. Is our boy
Ooh.
Memory NK saying, I'm avoiding unnecessary fights, trying to conserve energy, maybe team up with others to take out key threats, then go all out in the end with the energy I'm saved. I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just tag.
Yeah. Sometimes
It,
Mhm.
yeah, because teams within the match itself really helps, which kind of makes me question what Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to do if they're in this match.
Oh yeah, they're gonna eliminate each other.
Oh,
Like
I
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope
can
they
already see
do.
it.
From what this Monday, I mean, from this past Tuesday, they literally said turn on him,
Mhm.
turn on. I'm like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
They're making it two on the nose now. So like, all right, this
Yeah.
Royal Rumble is gonna set something up. It has to now.
Oh, yeah. They have to.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But you know what? We've been talking so much about the Royal Rumble. Let's talk about we've been talking about past Royal Rumbles, all that stuff, and it's good. It's good to reflect and look in the past and all that. But we gotta look to the future. We
Oh,
got the
yeah.
Royal Rumble 2025 this year.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, it is now time to talk about the card and talk about our predictions for the night. Now, we're not just going to talk about the Rumble matches itself. We're going to go through, the two other matches we got, and then we got a slew of predictions to go through when it comes to both Rumbles. So let's go ahead and start. We have for the first time since almost a year ago, we have the tag team titles being put on the line, not only on a PLE, but on a Big Four PLE. We have DIY
Mm.
taking on Motor City Machine Guns in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Vash, who you got and why?
Right before I say my reason of who I choose, I'm gonna just tell the chat as well. Why we tell our tag team, be aware that right in the comment section below to let us know for your title between Cody and KO, and for the women's and men's Royal Rumble. These are our options, so you guys go write them down. In the meantime, the wild card, the surprise, the Iron Woman / Iron Man. Final four and the winner of the men's and women's Royal Rumble. So please let us know down in the comment section or in the chat of which one of your choices. So please let us know. So for the tag team of 2 out of 3, I feel like it should go for DIY. It would be really sad that they lose for the first PLE defend for the tag team titles, and they've been harping on this so much. The DIY should win and defend their title. When it comes to Motor City Machine Gun, they have been great addition to the tag team. They came in. Sadly, I felt like they have, taken their place when it comes to the Street Profits. But I'm really excited to see, hopefully, how the Street Profits will be. I feel like, a bit of sourpuss. Like, hey, what happened? We got hurt. Now they've been going at this, best out of 3. We want the smoke. So I really can't wait to see how that happens. Hopefully, maybe they might come at the end of the match and try to intervene. Something may cook, because I hope, the story continues with them. You can't make the tag team just have a match and then move on. We got to continue the story some way or another. But DIY is my choice.
Yep.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, what about you, Drop? What's your choice?
I'm probably going to say DIY because when it comes to 2 out of 3 fall matches, that's pretty much a signature match for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Especially Johnny Gargano, if you guys remember that match he had at Adam Cole back at that NXT TakeOver.
Oh, yes.
Probably one of the best matches ever. But it's like, this is pretty much their playground. So then they know how to work these matches. And they even said on SmackDown that, this is our specialty. This is what people know us by. This is where we created a lot of moments. So I expect DIY to be successful. And also, they recently just got back to tag titles. You got to keep building them up. And this was the sort of presentation we've been wanting for them for the longest time, ever since they came on the main roster. So it's good that things are finally taking off. They're getting reactions. And Motor City Machine Guns, I mean, they're going to do great in this match. They're a great tag team. It's going to be a show stealer, potentially, just based on what they could really provide to the table. And I also feel like the bigger story here as well is Street Profits could be coming back soon. But I feel like the end goal might be DIY versus Pretty Deadly at WrestleMania, potentially, just based on the sort of story that they're building around Pretty Deadly. Because I feel like they're slowly trying to turn them into baby faces, just based on the sort of relationship they had with DIY. So I feel like that's the plan that we're going towards. But yeah, DIY, like I said.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised with you two, because I agree. I think DIY is going to take this win, pretty much for the same reasons you said, Drop. Like, I foresee pretty deadly taking the titles from them at Mania. I think that's where we're building towards.
Yeah.
And I think for Motor City Machine Guns, like they do really great work on SmackDown. But I mean, I know this transfer window is supposed to end at the Rumble, but they could always still announce, "Hey, we're going to Raw," because Raw kind of needs a shot in the butt
Ooh, that'd
when
be
it comes to their
nice.
tag team divisions. So if Motor City Machine Guns, if they made the jump after the Rumble and they're just like, "Hey, that was our last thing for SmackDown. We're here on Raw," I wouldn't mind that at all. Plus, again, it gives Raw a bit of a refresh when it comes to their tag team division and all that. Like, yeah, I know Austin Theory and Grayson Waller just got over there, but
They're about to break up.
we kind of need a little bit more when it comes to the tag teams over there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with DIY as well. So basically the same reasons and everything. So all right, well, moving on to our WWE title ladder match, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Kevin Owens. So Vash, who do you think is going to win this one and why?
Definitely KO, my G. Who you talking about? KOOD. KO. Kevin Owens. Nah, I'm kidding, guys. It's definitely Cody Rhodes.
I was gonna
definitely
say.
joking.
I was gonna say. Wait a minute.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
joking. Yo, I almost had Walker's. He was waiting for me to
was
like, come
like,
on. I know you're joking. Come on.
Come on.
Look,
I
it's
was like,
Cody
"Where's
Rhodes.
the punchline?"
Look, Chaz, it's definitely Cody Rhodes. He's been a long time champion. It is for sure about to happen, and he's definitely gonna win. This is more about the story, where it's gonna be if KO actually wins, I'm all for it. If we actually get something of KO versus Sammy or Sammy turns or something, it just depends on how they want to, pull the trigger, actually get it to happen. But honestly, I'm here for Cody to win. This is his moment. It's his moment to defend the WrestleMania spotlight. Then after that, hell go loose. He could lose in Backlash, Clash, wherever, and because it just came full circle. He won it last year, Lem defended this year, and then goes from there. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Drop. I see you have already written yours, but any other reasons why it's going to be Cody?
The main reason really is because um I just see Cody heading into Mania as champion. I just feel like it really makes sense. And also, I really like this whole character change with Cody. So I kind of want to see how that evolves with him as champion, because that whole segment that he had with Punk completely sold me on on a potential feud between the both of them. And they even teased it last year. And I'll get even more into that later on once we talk about the men's Royal Rumble. But I just feel like with here, it's really going to put Cody to the test to see what lengths he's going to go keep this title, because it's a ladder match. We haven't seen Cody take part in a ladder match in WWE yet since his return. I still remember that match he had with Sammy Guevara, which was, I believe, his last match in AEW, and that was a really great match. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we see certain moves done in this match that we normally don't see in WWE. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest we get some sort of pile driver on the ladders. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you see Cody hit a crossroads from the top of the ladder. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of these different things thrown in your face. I would honestly be shocked if this match doesn't have any color in it, just based on the sort of lengths that these two are going to go once they're both in the ring of one another. And I also expect Randy to potentially return here, but if he doesn't, not going to mind it, because it's also part of him that kind of just wants to let these guys go to war and take out each other. If Randy wants to come out in the end, I do expect the Punk kick to return here if Randy does come back.
Yep.
Because it's like you're having KO hit pile drivers. It only makes sense if you have Randy Orton come back with the Punk kick at least one time for shock value. So that's my reasoning behind Cody there.
Yeah, because I'm in agreement with you guys too. Because like, as much as the heart would love for Kevin to win, because I'm a big Kevin Owens fan, so it's like, as much as I would love for him to win, and as much as like the story could lean that way, Yeah, it's gonna be Cody. He's got other things going on, especially after Monday, like that segment with Punk and all that, and what might be happening later on, especially on the Royal Rumble night. Like Cody's got some other fish to fry when it comes to his title and possibly who's gonna take it from him too. Because like, yeah, he's gonna be coming up on a year coming up by WrestleMania of holding that title, and I know we're living in an era now where it's like, okay, yeah, long title reigns are the norm now, and okay, fine, whatever. But it's like when you get to the around that year mark, it's like, all right, who's gonna take the title off of you? You know, it's very similar to like how people were feeling about with Gunther. It's just like, okay, at a point he's got to drop the title. So who's gonna do it? Like, are we gonna build up a new star? Are we gonna like actually give throw a bone to like a veteran of the game and all that? So yeah, Cody's gonna be holding that for a bit. Uh, Maybe at least until Mania. We'll have to see what happens when we get to Mania and like the build and all that. But yeah, it's gonna be Cody. It's gonna be Cody, unfortunately. But because as tantalizing as a WWE title match main event at WrestleMania between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as tantalizing as that is, it's just not gonna happen. At least this year. Maybe down the road, but not this year. Mm. But yeah, let's talk about these rumbles now. Let's talk about the two highlights of the evening. We got two Royal Rumble matches. We got a women's one, we got a men's one. We've got all this stuff going on, and I already see you boys just going into the notes, just typing up your choices and all that. So, you know what, Vash, I'm gonna make you stop typing first. Vash, we got a lot of predictions to go when it comes to the Royal Rumble. And everybody in the chat, follow along as well. Give us your thoughts and your predictions as we go through each segment of the Royal Rumble. But Vash, we're gonna start with you.
Oh.
Who is your wild card to win the Rumble? Now, with wild card, this could be somebody that you want from just the bottom of your heart to win. Somebody you think that would really like excel their career, like anybody, like somebody that people just don't think about. Who is your
So
wild
we
card to win the Women's Royal Rumble?
question to clarify: are we each doing wild card all, and then we're going to surprise it? Then we each going like, or are we going to go like Vash does his all thing, and then we're doing all thing? Because if I could suggest, I'd like to
You
go
know
like
what?
we
Let's.
each do wild card, like we each do wild card, then
Yes.
X surprise it, then X. Okay, cool.
I was just gonna say, yep, that's how
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
But wild card is hard. I'm not saying that it's hard for me to choose. It's because like I could say Jordan Grace is my wild card because supposedly, for those that don't know, she's hosting her mom's birthday this weekend for her 50th. Not
Sure.
saying that it's not a bad thing. Happy birthday, Jordan Grace mom. Bless your soul. But I don't think you just signed a contract. I think the first thing that W would be like, hey, you're gonna enter the Royal Rumble. You did it last year as as the knockout champion. You're gonna win now, right? I mean, you're gonna participate. So the wild card at this moment, I play the fifth, not because I don't have one, but because I want us to have more conversation to see if I could actually feel like I land one.
Yeah.
I really don't have a wild card.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll come back to you when we get to the end of our wild card segment. Then we'll see if somebody pop into your head real quick. But drop. I see you put your wild card in here. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Jordan Grace because a lot of people were saying that since she's making her debut in the Royal Rumble, not only making another appearance again, but officially as a WWE superstar now, a lot of people were saying if you were to have like that dark horse to win the Rumble, I mean, that would be pretty crazy. You debut in the company, you win your first Rumble, and you go to WrestleMania to face Rhea Ripley. I mean, that's pretty crazy in itself. I mean, imagine headlines that would get. I don't know on the back of my head if that's ever happened where you debut in the company for the first time and actually win the Rumble. So if that wasn't a thing, then she would be setting a record right there. But that's my personal wild card to win the Rumble right there. That's the one I've been thinking about. Not even before the news where she signed with the company. That's just something that I knew was gonna factor in, and it just makes a lot of sense, really, because I can't really see anybody else really fitting that
Hmm.
position, at least from what I can think of on the top of my head.
Yeah. No, I get that. I can see that. Um, I'm going to try to be a little different here because I like to be different and all that. I would say my wild card is oh, people might hate me for this one, but I don't care. I don't care. This is the fun part. This is the fun goodiness of it. Give it to Trish Stratus. You know what? Give it to a legend of the game. Give her something to like have on her resume. Just that one little thing, one little extra bit. Because like she already kind of quote unquote held the women's tag titles, but not really. Because I don't think they really say that she was a women's tag team champion and all that. But hey, she could just be like, "Oh yeah, I defended the titles," blah, blah, blah. But like, it'll just be something to kind of give a legend something more, and
There
especially
you go.
a female legend at that from WWE because they never got opportunities like this back in her day. So like giving her something like that because like they already gave her steel cage match, which she wanted. She wanted a steel cage match because hell, who doesn't want to just have their face thrown into steel and get battered and bloodied and all that? Like, I don't. I want that. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, just give her something fun to do. Just something to be like, look, I am a legend of the game. I won a Royal Rumble. Even thank me. Thank you, Trish. Thank you for all you've done. So I'm just gonna throw her as my crazy wild card to win the Royal Rumble. So, Vash, we said some names. Has anybody really popped into your mind as a wild card fun pick?
I don't know why, but in my head, I was thinking of
Oh, he's about to
I'm not
say
saying for her.
Raquel. Oh, he's about to say Raquel.
No, I was gonna say Roxanne.
Oh, okay.
Roxanne, but
Okay.
not. So I was gonna say Roxanne, but not for her to win, for her to
Mhm.
do good at like maybe for her becoming Iron Man, the Iron Woman, or
Oh,
for her to be like the longest person, maybe to take out the most woman. I just feel like Roxanne like has been eyeing me, and I feel like that's the one I choose.
yeah.
Okay. All right, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick at all. So, Vash, we're gonna stick with you because it looks like you have your surprise entrant already, and to no one's surprise, it's something that a lot of people are calling for their surprise entrance. So go ahead, tell us who your surprise entrance is.
And is AJ Lee, not AJ Styles. Is AJ Lee, because in case people get mixed up, we know our truth, in case he goes into the wrong ring. Is definitely AJ Lee. For those that haven't seen or heard the news back in November, reported news that AJ was seen back in the wrestling ring. So she's been training back in November, or I believe the reports in December. So some time has shown the girl has been putting some work, and
Mhm.
AJ Lee also, for those that don't know, she also was an actress in the show with Stephen Amell with CM Punk as well, Heels. So she also did
Mhm.
some training there as well in the pro wrestling. So she's been putting some work over the past couple of years in her pro wrestling skill sets. And for those that haven't seen the clip, yes, CM Punk has been asked who would he like to see, and he was horrible liar, or he can lie, or just the fun of it, or maybe because he knows that he's been seeing it on the timeline. People expect AJ Lee, and he said, big surprises. I can't say anything, and I'm like, boy, with you smiling there, you just literally giving away. But we'll wait and see. But my surprise is AJ Lee.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
And drop. What about your surprise?
So I'm just gonna throw this one out here because we already know that she's gonna be there. Becky Lynch, and she hasn't been announced yet, but we already know she's gonna show
Mhm.
up just to get that out of the way. But AJ Lee, I definitely
Yeah.
expect her to be in this Rumble. I feel a little bit more confident in recent years. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But just the moment itself would be legendary. It would break the internet. It would go viral. I'm pretty sure whenever you guys do your sidecast, that clip is probably going to get a lot of attraction. So definitely keep
Oh
an
yeah.
eye out for that, Vash, when you post it on TikTok or whatever. Like, that's definitely going to be getting a lot of reaction because this is somebody that people have been wanting to see in the business for quite some time again. Like if you think about a big return, you throw AJ Lee out there, that whole entire crowd of almost 70,000 people at that event, by the way, they're gonna go chaotic. Like it's gonna be super
Oh yeah.
loud. You won't be able to hear a damn thing. And I expect AJ Lee to be the big surprise. And I'm hoping later on in the night or sometime throughout the year or whatever, you got a little backstage footage of like Punk back there, of AJ Lee,
Mhm.
you know, giving her a kiss or whatever, because just in case you guys didn't know that her and Punk are married, and just seeing his initial reaction of like AJ Lee just getting that big moment would just really warm my heart. So that's my
Yeah.
surprise right there.
Plus, seeing like maybe some of her interactions with everybody else in the back too. You know, I mean, I had mentioned this earlier too. I think it was before we started. That Becky had said something like apparently she was standoffish towards Becky like when she first came in. So
Yeah.
maybe like you get like a short interaction between those two that kind of like shows that people have grown and mature heads stand tall and all that. Yeah, so like I look for because like that's easy stuff for WWE to do,
Oh, yeah.
and that would give them all those numbers that they just so love to spout, especially during Royal Rumble time and all that. Well, so for my surprise, I'm gonna stray away from AJ Lee because I feel like again that's like one that a lot of people are talking about because rightfully so because a lot of hints here and there, but another.
CEO.
No, she can stay away from my company right now. But another person that has kind of been making some waves online.
Some
In
storms.
fact, you could think that maybe this person might seem like they're actually two people. Two people are better than one, or maybe they're fused together. I don't know. I'm just gonna go out and
Oh.
say it's Lay Cool. I think Lay Cool is going to be coming back. And for those who may not be in the know, that is Layla L and Michelle McCool,
Yep.
because they had that whole thing where they were like the same person almost, But like, I feel like they're going to be coming back, and we'll get that reunion in the Royal Rumble because both of them have been very active online. Like Michelle McCool has been like, "Oh, they haven't told me I'm gonna be in there," but like they've kind of done that before in the past with her, and she's kind of just come in. Like hell, what was it last year or the year before? She was literally in the crowd. They played her music, and she's like, "All right, well, there we go." So I wouldn't be surprised there. But also, like Layla's been kind of being vocal too about like wanting to come back, wanting to do a little bit more. So like I could see that be an easy just like return for both of them, even if it's just for the night, just to have again that moment that we talked about earlier. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Lay Cool for a good surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble.
I will say I'm not
Now,
surprised that I know we didn't mention it because it's a
mhm,
Jade Cargill is another surprise I would say because right
mhm,
now it hasn't like she's been out for dual action since October I believe it was now, and
yeah,
she's been gone for a couple months, and I feel like
Hmm.
the right time is to put Jade Cargill in the Royal Rumble since she made her first appearance on a live TV last year on the Royal Rumble, and she had a stare down with Bianca and with Nia Jax. So I'm sure this would be another opportunity to
Hmm.
maybe question who
Yeah.
the fuck attacked her because a lot of people lost interest of that already because time has moved on, and a
Yeah.
lot of people
mhm,
storyline wise,
Yep.
for anybody that has not been keeping up to SmackDown, week to week, Jade Garga's been gone because somebody attacked her backstage and put her on top of her car, and that's why Bianca has a new tag team partner, which is Naomi. So still
yeah.
begs the question who attacked her. So that's why I'm really hoping to see the results of this and just end this type of questionable thing because I don't want this to continue be looming over for the next couple weeks or more as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than
Yep. We
likely you
gotta
get your
find out.
answer. I'm pretty confident we'll get our answer on Saturday. But
Yeah, I think so too.
but if you don't mind, I'll go first for the next one only because I have to run and do something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
So the Iron Woman for me is Io Sky because I just feel like it fits her character perfectly. So
Mhm.
that's my answer for the Iron Woman.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Vash, what about your Iron Woman? How about you explain yourself?
All right, so myself is explaining Jordan Grace as my Iron Woman. You know why? For those, yeah, she'll follow her IG. This woman is brick. This woman is
She is
strong as
stacked.
hell. She is fit. Anybody should look at her most recent IG post or Twitter post. If you guys have been seeing this on this Thursday stream, I think she posted this past Wednesday. If you're seeing it later, scroll.
Mhm.
You'll find it. See her first TNA picture to see her current. That transformation, bless her soul. She worked for it. She worked hard, and she got her muscle. She is a muscle mommy. That's what she's at. And I praise to the amount of work, the amount of ethic that she has done over time, because it shows that she's put the time in hours. And for anybody, she posts a few times of workouts, and I feel like Jordan Grace would be a perfect woman to be the Iron Woman survivor, because what would be a great representation that you sign the contract, you already appear as a knockout champion from last year, you've been on NXT, you enter the company, you join the Royal Rumble, and now have the Iron Woman Survivor as the longest. I would prefer
Mhm.
she's Iron Woman as the longest, or she threw out the most people, because that would
Yeah.
show true strength, that what she presents at herself as a character, that she is, and shows that she's the strongest woman because she trains and is powerful for that. That she
Mhm.
should take out other women, like probably stare down Jade Cargill, maybe have a competition between her of who's taking out the most women, or to be the longest. It will be a perfect opportunity to show her character and what she has presented herself over the recent years. It will be a beautiful transition.
Yeah. No, I see the thought process. I see the vision, if you will, Mr. Visionary.
Thank you, thank you.
But the one thing I look at when I look at an Iron Woman, as we transition to my pick and all that, like, because again, I see your vision with the strength and all that stuff, and all everything that
It's just
she's
funny how you
become.
picked the opposite, the pipsqueak of them all.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, because like I think of stamina, I think of opportunistic, and I'm going for Roxanne because I think this will be a good showcase. Like again, Jordan Grace will get a good showcase. I think she'll get like a lot of eliminations, whether or not she breaks the women's record. That's here or there, mainly because I don't remember what the women's record is for most eliminations in a match. But I'm gonna go again with Roxanne because I think like this will be a good way to kind of showcase her attributes, especially for the main roster and all that. Plus, with her character, I feel like she could really play off of being somebody that lasted so long in the Rumble, and especially if like they want to keep breaking records, they could always do a thing where like this Rumble goes a little bit longer and she ends up breaking Bailey's record and all that because like they're kind of doing a feud right now, so like
Yeah.
she could do something like, oh well, I lasted longer in the Rumble, blah blah blah, and then Bailey can retaliate. Oh, but I actually won it and went to WrestleMania. Like, there's good storyline implication
Yeah.
with that, but like, I feel like with Roxanne, because like the thing with Jordan, like I because I love Jordan Grace, and again, like I said, I think she's gonna get a good showcase in the Rumble.
Mhm.
I feel like she doesn't have too much to prove because again, she was in the Rumble last year as well, and she did really well.
Mhm.
So I don't think she has really much more to prove on that aspect of it. Whereas with Roxanne, again, I think she's a little bit more new, um, at least when it comes to like main roster stuff, for example. So I think giving her just that spotlight would do wonders for her as she moves up the card and all that.
If I may add, some feedback on that, that is a great choice for Roxanne, and you give some good excellent points, because it would be a great introductory that if she could be the Iron Woman survivor, or if she could take out the most people, whichever the case, it will balance
Mhm.
her entryway to enter the main roster, because her being a pipsqueak, a lot of people look down on her that she's not big
Yeah.
or as
Oh.
strong as Rio or other people. So when it comes to her character, she could be like like the Carmelo in a way that she is all about the hype, but then she has the resume to back it up. Two-time NXT Women's Champion, longest reigning. She held the NXT Women division, and then she's the longest Iron Woman survivor or slash took out the most people. I'm okay with it because it helped her resume when she's on the main roster. So I feel like that is a great choice, Watkins, to me, and I'm okay with that if that comes to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, we great choices too for Iron Woman. Like I like all of our choices here. So good on us for having
Yeah,
good
as well. Let us know
good
your
opinions.
choices.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, please do. I would love to hear it. Even if it's just off the wall. Just let's have some fun with it and all that. But let's move on to our final four. So who is everybody's final four for the women's Royal Rumble? Vash, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Are we
And
gonna
why
mention the
did you
final
pick yours?
four and the one? Like since it's like a 2-on-1,
You
I'll say.
can, if you want to lead into your winner, go right ahead.
Yeah. Might
All
as
right,
well.
chat. I'm gonna give you my final four, the +1, the winner. My final four are Becky Lynch, Io Sky, and Charlotte and Bianca. And my choice for winning is gonna be Io. If you ask me my number 5 and 6, I would say Liv Morgan as number 5 or 6 around there, and then maybe my sixth person would have been AJ Lee to just bring it up there as longevity. That would be amazing to see, but my choice would be Io Sky because it's like story wise, Rhea, Io, they already showed us this back in December. So this is a potential that we have. And for the other match, for Tiffany, it's already obvious. We will speak about that after. But it's an obvious choice for Io. And if they have a different choice, then sure, when the time comes on Saturday, we will rant or we'll be happy. So the final four is Becky, Io, Charlotte, and Bianca.
Mm. Okay. What about you, Drop? What you got for us?
So I have Io, Charlotte, AJ / Becky because it could go either or, and I'll explain why. And Jordan Gray. So for Io, I mean that's my pick to win the Rumble, and for Charlotte, I mean it's hard not to see her in the Final Four because I feel like they're gonna push towards that, and I know a lot of people are foreseeing that to happen. So if you see it on screen, don't be surprised in the slightest. AJ Lee, I only put her there because just in case they want to keep her in there at least a tad longer instead of just having her come out because that's a pretty big return. It's not like somebody that returned after like an injury over a year or somebody that just took some time off it's coming back. That's someone that's been highly requested from the community to make a return. So I want to be surprised in the slightest if she's at least in the final four, just so she has some time to like really get in the ring with the girls. And then Becky Lynch, obviously, always have to throw her in there because she's a veteran, and that's a very realistic option to really see. And Jordan Grace, your new signing to the company. You really want to show her off to the audience, and if you really want to push her towards the end of the game, I mean, that's definitely a way to do it. I don't see her winning. Future Rumble, of course, but I don't.
Yeah.
I definitely do see her taking the cake this time around.
Okay. All right. Good choices all around. So I guess for my final four, I'm going with Io, also Charlotte, and then my other two are Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez. Now, I chose these people because, well, for one, I do think Io is going to win the whole damn thing. So there's that right there. Charlotte, pretty much the same reasons you said. Drop. That's a huge return for the company, and she is a big name and all that. So I do see her at least being in the final four. Jordan Grace, kind of the same reasons I was saying earlier, like giving her a big showcase. And even though I don't see her, being the Iron Woman, I could see her being the final four to just kind of put that stamp again on where she's going to be standing within the company and all that. And of course, Roxanne, she's my Iron Woman, so having her in the final four would be just the icing on the cake for her. Again, as she moves up the card as well. But a lot of my choices in that I kind of already explained too, just going through everything. But again, I also see the winner being Io Sky because I think she really deserves it. She's been getting really good crowd reactions lately. The moment with her and Rhea like looking at each other with the title, I think that is your money match. With Charlotte, she can go through the chamber. We've spoken extensively on that, and I mean, if she does end up winning on Saturday, don't worry, we'll probably have a rant with that if that does happen. But yeah, I do see EO just pulling it off because I think she's really earned it, and she deserves a big win like this.
I agree.
But
We're on it.
that does it for the women's side of things. Now's the meat and potatoes of it all. Now's like the big stuff. The what's probably gonna be the main event of the show.
Oh yeah.
The men's Royal Rumble. So we're gonna do this just as we did with the women. Man, this one's. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start off with this while you guys are typing your stuff in there and all that. This one was really hard for me to think of a few of these. But like I said earlier, like I've been teasing you guys a little bit. I think I've cracked the code. I think I see a vision. I think I see the Triple H vision going into WrestleMania 41. So yeah, I think I see what we're going with. But as we lead into that eventuality, Vash, start off because I
Oh.
just saw who you typed for your
Hope so.
wild card.
My wild card's supposed to be a surprise.
Oh,
Hold on.
I believe
Hey, Joe
in
Hendry. Chat, that is who I believe my wild card is, Joe Hendry. And well, like, look, chat, I'm like wild card for me is who I'm unexpecting to see and is gonna do a lot. Joe Hendry, I feel like he's gonna do something a lot. He's something that I'm thrilled to see, and I expect high things from him if he actually, because this is a crossover TNA. He's not going to do much since he's a crossover TNA champion. And I don't think he's gonna be Iron Man Survivor. None of these things. I just definitely think Joe Hendry will be my big wild card as somebody that he says he's not gonna be there. And also, I think a couple weeks ago he said that he has some beef with John Cena that he needs to settle, or he needs to have a match with him or something. So for me, it's definitely Joe Hendry and anybody from TNA, but I must say that in my surprises, I know two of them that Drop also wrote down. So like, yes.
oh yeah, I see what Drop's writing down over there. So go ahead, Drop. Who's your wild card for winning the Royal Rumble?
I'm gonna say Seth Rollins, mainly because of that potential program that they teased of him and Gunther. That could definitely be the setting for Seth Rollins if he wins the Royal Rumble, because they teased it last year, but it was like the roles are reversed, like I talked about on the show, because at that time Seth was champion and Gunther was heading into the Rumble. Now Gunther's champion and Seth's heading into the Rumble, so Seth's my potential wild card that I could see winning it.
Okay, all right. For my wild card, I picked Drew McIntyre just because. I mean, I'm a fan of Drew McIntyre. I'm a big fan of him and all that, and I think just throw him another bone, give him another world title shot. Why not? He's fun. He's good, and plus, like a program with him and Cody can be really really good, especially with the level that Drew's gotten to on the mic and with his social media game and all that. Like we could see something truly brilliant between him and Cody and all that. But again, that's a wild card pick. That's just that would be fun and all that. Vash, let's go ahead to your surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble.
So, chat, I'm gonna tell you quick. We got Big E. You know why? The New Day. It's because what we spoke about before, the New Day dilemma. Build it, the tension that we have for Big E himself to the return and to build up the story. And if Big E can't make it, understandable. Health comes first, so we understand. When it comes to Malachi, for obvious reasons, we know that he might be showing up. We already know that Zelina Vega got moved to Friday Night SmackDown, and that's where Malachi Black might be showing up. And the Hardy Brothers, we know that, like they mentioned earlier, the TNA, the partnership that they have. So anybody from TNA could show up, but who I expect is the Hardy Brothers, because I feel like right now they're the tag team champion. It could be Jeff or Matt, but Jeff is more the popular one, so it makes sense. And who I love to see just to hear. Just like Joe Hendry, there's another character that has such a huge slogan, and Drop wrote it down as well. Is because I want to see Mello and Trick see eye to eye in this arena, because I want to see whoop that Trick in a Royal Rumble arena type of vibe.
They got
And
70,000 people.
exactly, I hope that area that people knows who he is. 'Cause I want to hear that so they could all sing it, or enough that people will hear it and just go with the rhythm. But Trick Williams would be another surprise for me. That is all I got.
All right. What about you, Drop? Let's hear your reasons for some of your surprises in here.
So I have Joe Hendry. I think that's a given. He's kind of alluded to it, and especially if you see where he's at this weekend. He's at WrestleCon participating in that. I know he's going on the Jericho Cruise. I know starts I believe Friday, but he's not boarding the ship until the 2nd. So that only tells me that I could see Joe Hendry entering the Royal Rumble with the World Championship around his waist. And he also called out John Cena, so I wouldn't be surprised if he at least get that little stare down between him and Cena. I see Jeff Hardy. Either both of the Hardy Bros can come, but definitely Jeff, just so I can see Jeff and Punk look at each other. Malachi Black, that would be a great return. Hopefully he comes back with his OG theme, because I love his OG theme that he had. No one could ever be evil, or something along those lines. If you forgot the name of the song, but I just loved his overall presentation. And I'm pretty sure he'll come back with that, because I heard Triple H was high on him, really wanted to push him as a main event guy, so I can definitely see him getting that treatment when he comes back. Big E, the story's there, especially when you look at what Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are doing. The whole story of like how you're never going to come back, you're never going to do this, or you're never going to do that. They're pretty much trying to break the ice at that moment. So that sort of tells me, in a way, even though it could be unrealistic, it just tells me that, yeah, I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to be in this match and just take out both of you guys. And that would get another big reaction, and it would break the internet. Obafemi, just because I want them to tease the future, because you also have to keep in mind some NXT talent could be popping up here. So throwing Obafemi in there, having him have a face-off with Braun Strowman or Jacob Fatu or whoever else he put him up against. Same thing with Trick would be nice to see, even if they wanted to start off the match between Carmelo and Trick to really get the crowd going. I can definitely see something like that.
Oh yeah.
I have one. I have one more surprise that I forgot to mention.
Please.
And I'm sorry, Watkins, that I took this from you, because in case you didn't write it down, he was gonna say it. It is the Mad Dragunov, Ilja Dragunov.
Oh yeah,
one surprise.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come up there to New York and give you the stiffest Moscow torpedo this world has ever seen. There's not going to be enough Sonic rings for Hang 'em High to put into that footage. No, how dare you? How dare you? Nah, Dragunov's about to come back and be like, oh, hey, what's up, assholes? I was in a hyperbolic time chamber healing.
You know what?
I would love to say he could be my Iron Man.
Just for
exactly what job is right now.
Yeah,
I would love to say he's my Iron Man, but I don't know how best and healthy he is to last that long.
If he's coming back that quick,
have you seen the man work out? Have you seen what
you're
that
not
man
wrong.
can do?
You're not wrong. I would love to choose him, because look, chat, I'm gonna just tell you, you know what, I'm gonna say my thoughts. I'm gonna Dragunov. I would love to have him as my Iron Man, but I don't know when the night comes when me and Wakas are watching the sidecast. I mean, not watching that. When we're watching the Royal Rumble and you guys are watching our sidecast. If you see Ilja Dragunov come out that good, just know this document will be thrown out the window and be like, nah, Ilja Dragunov, he's the Iron Man survivor. That's it. This man looks peak season. That's it. That is different.
See, here's the thing. Ilya Dragunov's already in the Royal Rumble match. Like, he's already in it. Like, he's already in the ring waiting for people to show up. Like, that's how much this man's stamina is. He's been there since he's been injured. Like, he's just been chilling in there. He's got like this big old beard. He's just like, oh yes, I think I'm good now. Yes. Oh, hey, you're number one. Sense. Oh, I guess I was number 0.
That makes sense why he wasn't on social media over the past year. He's been smart.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing he did with John Cena. Like nobody caught him. He wore a hoodie. He hit himself. That was smart. Just so nobody knows how you look. Imagine if he grew all his hair. So by the time that Saturday comes, shave it off. He become a new person.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
what's your surprises other than the one I took?
I mean, Big E's the other one, just because I miss the man. I want him to come back. I feel like they've been hiding the fact that he is cleared,
Yeah.
from us, because I feel like that's why they've been prolonging this whole New Day thing too. Just to make it feel more just unbearable. The fact that all their families just abandoning them and all that, to the point where Big E is back and he's gonna destroy both of them and all that. But yeah, that's really for my surprises. I mean, again, with Joe Hendry, I want him in there. I want that stare down with Cena if he's not gonna get the match at least, So give me that if you're gonna do anything.
I'm gonna say another one. AJ Styles. That's it.
Oh yeah, it's another one too.
I mean, if you want your Royal Rumble to be
See,
phenomenal,
my
give
brain's
him his
cooking.
old theme.
My brain's cooking. The more we're talking about it, it's like, all right, cool. I got, it's Dragunov, AJ Styles. I'm like, who else we got? Because, memory, fuck Logan Paul, respectfully, he's definitely not going to be surprised. We know it. He declared himself. And I wrote in the chat, he better be thrown off as immediately that he gets thrown in. We don't got no Ricochet to do some cool moves. The only person we got maybe is Penta or maybe some type of Dragon Lee. But we know they'll be doing some fire shit, so I know that.
Look, maybe Penta will break his arm so he can't do the buckshot anymore.
Remember, he's definitely not Dark Horse. Definitely not. No. He's definitely not Dark Horse. No,
he's the Dark Horse. He's the Dark Horse to win. He's gonna do it.
We already have spoken about it. The Iron Man Survivor. I have two guys. Braun Breaker, but it's because he has the IC title right now. So I don't know if they want to give him the spotlight because he already is a champion in that. So I don't know, depending on what Triple H type of vision is for Braun Breaker right now with the IC title, or put the rocket on this man. It fits it. He is the Iron Survivor. If you do it, throw as many people or longest person. Jacob Fatu, the tribal wolf, the Samoan werewolf. This man, this man will get headbutt by Braun Strowman, anybody else, the big show-ups. This man will be like, let's go. Just throws people out like no problem. That's it.
Yeah. It's just the facial expressions of Jacob Fatu that night. I hope he's in it, and I hope he makes all of the faces.
Yeah.
Yes. But how about you guys? What's yours?
I'll say Mello, just because I feel like he needs something to really build him up again. And if he is the Iron Man in this match and he lasts for a bit, it would give him some good credibility heading out of the match. So you could at least do something special with him moving forward. That's my reasoning behind Mello. Jacob Fatu, I mean, that's self-explanatory. I'm also pushing towards him to break the record for most eliminations this year as well.
Same.
So that's another thing I'm going to throw in there. And Ilya, if he does come back, it just fits him like a glove to be the Iron Man.
Agree.
Yep. I agree with the Dragunov one, since we did bring it up just recently. But my other pick for Iron Man is Finn Balor, because I feel like Finn, he needs something to kind of boost himself back up. He's also been gone from TV. Yeah, he's also been gone for TV from a bit. So it's like, okay, he can come back, last very long in the Rumble, and he won't win it, but like it'll still be something like a good step in the right direction, because like the whole Judgment Day thing, it's nearing its end, and he's nearing the point where he's going to be leaving the group. So why not stand out again? Why not remind people how good you are by being the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble? Because I think he had done it once before too, where like he was like second to most time in the match and all that. I forgot what year it was, or even if that is true. So I'd have to fact check myself later on with that. But
I do want to say
those are the.
I do want to say, speaking about Judgment Day related and to Finn Balor related, best of recovery to JD McDonough, that is unaware. For those that don't know, he has a few cracked ribs and a punctured lung, and that's why he won't be
Mm.
showing up for TV for the next couple of months. To be estimated for his time, but send the best of wishes, best of recovery to you, JD. And if you're on vacation, JD, and if you could speak, we'd love to interview. Appreciate, thank you. Take care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you can, we won't push it. We won't push you, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But okay, all right, we've teased this long enough. We've dangled the
Yeah.
carrot. Final four into the winners.
What I love is
Vash,
that we almost have it all
go
the
ahead.
same. We we literally have it all the
Almost.
same. Look, chat. I'm gonna just tell you my
Just
choice.
know, there's a reason I didn't write my winner yet.
My choice is John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Rollins. For many obvious reasons. For Roman and Rollins, because of the Shield, they have bad blood. Rollins wouldn't let CM Punk or Rollins out of his sight. John Cena, because it's his farewell tour. So like if they want to push him and the love and the way he spoke about it on the Netflix premiere, he's like, oh, what can I do? He doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble. John Cena don't. He could find the Elimination Chamber or another way to get to Royal Rumble, to get to WrestleMania, and he doesn't have to win the champion as well at that time. He could still be at the WrestleMania event. Doesn't have to fight a full main event. He could fight the one before, IC title, US title, whatever it may be. But when it comes to CM Punk, makes sense because I think my boy, cult of personality, will win the 2025 Royal Rumble, and he is my pick, CM Punk. To the game.
Yeah. All right, good choices, good reasonings. Drop. How about you? Who are your final four, and who eventually will win the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble?
So I'm gonna say John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre. I feel like Cena's a given, just like Charlotte Flair, because this is Cena's last Rumble, so you would want him to be in the final four. It only makes the most sense. Punk's the fan favorite this year, and it's kind of hard not to see. Even if he wasn't, it'd be kind of hard not to see him in the final four. Roman Reigns, I mean that's a given because this is his first Rumble in years because he's been champion. So that's another reason. And also Drew McIntyre, he has a lot of momentum behind him. So that's another reason as well. And I see it factoring out where you have one of those things where hypothetically, let's say an outsider gets involved, possibly eliminates Cena or Drew, since I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but Drew says that he really wants to do something with Cena with Cena. He's been really knocking on the door for it for quite some time. He's mentioned that
Oh no, I missed that.
a TikTok he did. He's mentioned it in interviews as well. So I can easily see Drew taking out Cena. I could see something sparking out between Roman Reigns and Drew, and it could go either way. It's 50-50. Either Drew takes out Roman to get a little tension there, or Roman takes out Drew in the end, and then you could revisit that later. And then the reason why I'm putting it, the final two being Punk and Roman, is because I feel like this is where the favor is going to come in, where you're going to have something play out. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know, but he's been alluding to it throughout his build to the Royal Rumble. He even said something about it on Monday Night Raw recently when they showed him and Paul Heyman backstage, and he even brought it up several times throughout these promos that we've seen, and it's been a big thing ever since it's been announced. And I could see that possibly factoring in where we could see CM Punk's favorite coming into play, and then he ends up becoming the winner of the Royal Rumble.
A lot of cooking going on. A lot of cooking, a lot of simmering, a lot of good spices coming here and there. But let's get spicy. Let's dive into this because I think I've cracked the code, everybody. I think I've cracked it. I think I understand. I think I see the vision of what you're going for, Triple H. So I'm gonna start with my final four. I got Roman, Cena, Punk, and Rollins. Now, Cena, I don't think is going to win. I think his whole thing is going to be the chase for 17. Plus, he's scheduled to be at Elimination Chamber, so he could easily win the Chamber match, face hopefully Gunther, and go on from there. And Plus with Cena, I think I forgot where I was going with that, so never mind. I don't think he's winning. Now that leaves, Punk, Roman, and Rollins. I went with Rollins over Drew because I think Drew's gonna basically screw himself, like
Agree.
because that seems to be his whole shtick anymore. And Rollins being in there alone with two people he just despises. It's very similar, and it will be very poetic to what happened at Mania this past year, where Roman he had the chance to end Cody, to end the match, and to finish it off, but instead he went to Rollins and tried to get some sort of revenge on him, and that ultimately bit him in the ass. I think we're gonna get something very similar to where Rollins sees that Roman's down and he can eliminate him, but then he sees like Punk just off in the distance, and he's just like, "Man, fuck this guy." Goes for Punk, and then Roman ends up eliminating Rollins. So now we got our final two. We got Punk and we got Roman.
Okay.
And Drop, I like how you brought up the favor, because that's the whole thing. That's been the whole build with this. The favor. Ever since freaking Survivor Series, it's been this favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk. Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble. Punk is going to be like, okay, you know what? Fudge that. I'm still getting my main event. We're going to get a triple threat at Mania. Punk, Roman, Cody. I think the story's there for all three of them, and I think going into it with Cody, it's because this is going to be Cody's biggest challenge here. Because not only is he going to have to face Roman because of last year's shenanigans and all that stuff, but now Punk is getting involved. Now Punk is inserting himself. Now he is kind of being like The Rock was last year, and being that elder statesman trying to be like, okay, I'm going to insert myself because I can and I want to. And there's so many story elements that go into this, and especially with because now you involve Paul Heyman with all this, and Roman now, because right now Roman only has Paul Heyman. He hasn't had any help from Jimmy or Jay or Sammy since freaking, I mean, he had some help too for the Bloodline Rules match. Or no, it wasn't Bloodline Rules match. It was the what was it? Tribal Combat from the Netflix premiere. So he had some help there, but it's ever since then, nobody's really been helping Roman. It's all just been Paul kind of helping him and all that. And now that the one person that he could lean towards kind of screwed him in the end, at least for that one-on-one match, or at least a better opportunity to get his title back, there's another layer to that story. So now Roman is finally isolated. He's finally pretty much on his own, because I could see him being like, you know what, Paul, let me handle this. I'm going to do this. I don't need you. And because this goes back into that whole story element I tried to bring up months ago, where it's Roman needs to start coming to himself. He needs to start becoming his own wise man, and this could be a good way into that. And then with Punk, again, he's somebody ever since he's come back to the company, he said, I'm here not to make friends, but to make money. And with this favor with Paul Heyman, with his idea of wanting to have that WrestleMania main event, this would fit that mold to be like, okay, you know what? I have this favor. And, it could be possibly too, maybe Rollins cost Punk the Rumble win or something.
I could see
Punk
that.
feels like he was cheated out of this. So it's just okay, you know what? I'm going to cash in that favor. I'm still getting my main event WrestleMania. Nobody can really deny me that anymore, and I'm gonna get it. Now, who wins in this in the end? I mean, I would see Cody losing, because I think he does need to lose the title to kind of play upon this story of him running ragged and all that. And plus, I'll just go ahead and say it. If this comes to fruition, this triple threat, I'm going to go with Punk winning the title at Mania, and mainly because of the line that we got this past Monday with Cody saying, at one point we were chasing you, but now you're chasing me. And I think that's going to also come bite Cody in the ass and be like, okay, well, now you have to chase Punk again now. Now you're
Yep.
chasing again, you know? So there's a lot of story elements that can go into this. And like, I think this is where we could be going towards it, you know? Because like, again, there's something like really deep you can really sink into when it comes to like a triple threat here. Because like a lot of people have been saying, oh, well, we could be getting Roman versus Punk at Mania, which we could still get, but it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like there's more to do with a triple threat here this year than there is with anything else. And especially like when you look at the build from last year, how are they gonna top that? How are they gonna make us like want to watch Mania 41 over 40? Like things like that. Like that's just where my mind is going and all that. But of course, I could just be spouting nonsense. I could be just spouting complete and utter dog poo. What do you guys think of just like my, I guess, fantasy booking with all this? I mean, again, I'm trying to use elements that we've gotten, but this might be where we're going with it.
Well, when it comes to
Let's
chat,
see.
chat saying being a bacon says laughing mad stuff you mostly like of the conversation. The not big fan when it comes to your theory, but I like your theory. Your panelists here, I do like it,
Yeah.
because it's an interesting retrospect of what you're talking about from this Monday, and you bring a good point because for last year WrestleMania 40, it was like a movie, it was like a scene, or like Romans Reigns
Yeah.
said, cinematic is what the kids say nowadays, and it could tell because of the story that was being told. Undertaker, The Rock, John Cena, Soto, so all these type of things of characters being appear for this big one night, big one ring to finish the story, and we already got our story, like you said. We are chasing you, CM Punk. Now you're chasing me. That's a big one already, and that could literally follow up from now to WrestleMania, from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, and that could continue on of the chase because that's what it is. And even Cody Rhodes has said this in interviews where he has noticed that when he becomes a champion, you're not being the one chasing the champion now. People are chasing you, and now you gotta evaluate how do you want to hold the championship run, and how do you want to uphold yourself as a champion for others to defend it. So I love how he's been seeing the difference of going after Roman Reigns for the past 2 years and now being the champion over the past 8-9 months. So that's such
Yeah.
a big difference for a champion like Cody who never had this type of spotlight. Like, like Paul Heyman, he spoke very highly of him. Like he's the first person there. He goes to the call time. Even CM Punk said it. Like, hey, you have a call time tomorrow, right? Like at 6 a.m., you don't sleep. Like you have this thing in the back of your head. So the triple threat of Roman Reigns winning, I'm okay with that. Not a big fan if we get 3 WrestleManias back to back, but I like it that we're getting different variations of it. The first one of WrestleMania 39 was 1-on-1. The second was a Bloodline Rules. The third one, that's a triple threat because of CM Punk. He sneak his way his in, and CM Punk has always been the type of character for an opportunity, and he's always been a character that plans the long game. He plans ahead, and maybe this favor, as Drop brought up earlier, and like Watkins explained, could be in the benefit for CM Punk himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give you a short answer just because I have to go to bed soon for work. That's
Yeah.
why I'm looking at the clock. Um,
Oh yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I've been looking at it too for you. So
yeah.
yeah.
Plus, I also have to make my lunch downstairs too. But
Right.
I'll just see where it goes because it could possibly go down that direction. Because I mean, outside of everybody else, I'm mainly curious to see what Roman's direction is going to be at Mania. So that's going to be very telling in the Rumble. I mean, the only thing I could really think of is him and Drew because I feel like you could tell a good story there. Plus, it would make
Yeah.
sense due to the kind of path Drew is going down right now, and he seemed to make it pretty apparent that his eyes has been set on the bloodline lately after that feud with Punk. So that was my idea behind it, but we'll see where that factors in because I feel like once you get to the final four, you'll get a better understanding of where it heads. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It could definitely go down that direction, but I'll just wait and see what happens. That's what I'm saying. The whole shock factor is what's really going to, I guess, help us understand exactly what they're building towards.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the thing. Like you said, once we get that Final Four, I think we'll have a better understanding where everything's going to go. And yeah, I could also see, you know, the Roman Drew match being at Mania too, because again, like you said, Drew's been eyeing the bloodline, and Roman is the end goal for his vengeance and all that. So yeah, there's so many possibilities. Like this year's Royal Rumble is shaping up to be one of the best in a long time, mainly because of its unpredictability and just where things can go. And hell, who knows? Maybe there will be a countdown for number 31 to come out, and The Rock will, you know,
Ruin the whole match.
be his final boss stick
Yep.
and just be like, I'm gonna win the Rumble, and we get Rock and Cody. That could also be a thing, you know. Who knows? But yes, let us know in the chat, let us know in the comments, let us know what your predictions are for the Rumble. We've been at this for a good 2 hours. This has been a great Royal Rumble special for the Grappling with the Week, and of course with our Weebs of the Ring. So, you know, any parting thoughts that you guys have before we go ahead and hit our outro and our plugs and all that?
I'm all set though. I'll probably say more thoughts for tomorrow's show and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The only thing I would say is, chat, we appreciate you checking out Grappling of the Week. This is our second episode. Don't forget to always like, subscribe, and know that in the future, the more that you guys continue tuning in, liking the video, and chatting up with us, we're gonna have a viewer/audience Q&A at the end, always when we wrap up our show. So if you ever guys have any questions or any comments about Royal Rumble, or next week when we have our next show and future Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania stuff, always have questions. You know, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring. Always does, helps us. And for this show, you know, Grappling of the Week, that'll be also a hashtag as well when you guys have any questions for us, when we want to have prepared for the show, and you know, help us to get monetized. If you ever guys want to send super chats, those will always be helpful in the future, and we appreciate for always the support.
Exactly. So, yep, if you guys want to follow us on any of our social medias, be sure to look at all of those handles right at the bottom of your screen. Find us on anything like Twitter. I almost said Twitter and X, so no, they're the same thing.
Blue Sky,
Yeah,
IG,
Blue Sky.
TikTok, Snapchat, MySpace, and everywhere
Mhm.
else.
Exactly. So, you know, all the handles are right there at the bottom. But, you know, thank you again for listening to Grappling with the Week. Before we head out, as always, you know, again, be sure to follow us on all those social medias. Be sure to use the hashtag Weaves of the Ring on all those social media, so that way we can keep track of the conversation going forward. And feedback is always appreciated, as we love to grow to help provide a great experience for all of you nerds out there. Grappling with the Week is presented by Animal We Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of your hard work. Thank you for joining us, and a shout out for Stu for helping us with the recording of the podcast. You're a real trooper, Stu. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you this weekend and tomorrow night for more Royal Rumble goodness.